This is a review video for a certain scientific Railgun episode 2, episode 4, 5, and 6, a 3-episode reaction. Go click in the link in the description below to go watch it for yourself, and then come back here to see my full thoughts, ideas, and theories about these videos and what's to come and watch stuff. There's a really good group of episodes, so I highly recommend these episodes if you haven't watched it yet. So click away now, or be spoilers for what happened in these episodes. Okay. So I really do like the music clones. It sucks that they're like basically programmed / made to die. But it's good that we know the reasoning behind them. Like because before we never understood why they were being made, why they were, whatever. When we had ideas, I mean, we know the old idea, which was to make a level 5 army, or whatever, just keep cloning level 5s and just keep making an army and then send them out kind of thing. But when that was shut down, that was when the level 6 organization stepped in and took all the assets from that program. So it's good to know the reasoning behind it now. Now all we need is a face, basically, a face to destroy, a face to kill, or whatever. So there's like 20 facilities that she needs to find, because she's gearing to wipe them out by herself, basically. We're probably going to see Accelerator again. Him being the level 1 guy. That was being trained by the other Musicas. Their whole thing is interesting because they're trained to put him in battle scenarios to get him to the point of level up to level 6. The issue I see with that is I don't think battle situation. I mean, it can definitely help, but at his level, he's not it's just not fun, or whatever for him. It's not a challenge, by any means. And that's the whole point of level upping is because you need to push yourself to the limit and then go beyond that to overcome the obstacle or whatever, or just keep pushing yourself to that to your limit, so that way your limit keeps getting further and further away to the point where you can level up in a way. And all these little things that we've seen him do so far with the whole train and everything, it was very his child's play for him. So he's not by any means pushing his limit. He's not exceeding his max power every time he fights. He's just kind of a small hand wave, a small kick, whatever, just lifting something up and tossing it down. It's nothing for him. So I don't think it has the same outcome as the scientists think it does, or think it will, or whatever. But it's really interesting that everyone considers them things, because the Misika's things. It just makes it so, or it makes it easier on them more than anything, because they don't want to be associated with murder or whatever like that. But effectively, they're creating life, and then they're killing it over and over and over and over and over again. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to find out who's behind all of this kind of thing. I'm assuming we saw her, right? It was one of the first ladies that we saw there in the past, or one of the 4 months ago kind of past thing or whatever. I feel like that might be one of well, she was saying she said something she wasn't, it insinuated that she wasn't the one in charge, or whatever. So I wonder who is in charge, kind of thing. It'll be interesting. But overall, it's another, going back to one of my other main theories that I had a couple episodes ago, or a couple of reactions ago, I should say. It does seem like the adults are just experimenting with all the kids and everything, and there are no adult espers. There's all kid espers kind of thing. So yeah, I mean, they're just trying to push the limit, trying to exceed what the kids can do. experiment with it, all that stuff, which is a interesting concept. It reminds me a lot. Like I was reminded of this during a live stream, but like the show Kids Next Door, where like the kids versus adults kind of thing. It's kind of similar in a way. Like this show, it's just like anime style in a way, not just cartoons, but like it's an actual anime version in a way, versus kids and adults kind of thing. Because the adults, they're not really like actively trying to kill the kids, but like they're experimenting on them that happens to kill them kind of thing. We've seen that with or they didn't really kill them, but like all the kids that were in the comas and everything, like it was basically that, and then they kind of shrugged it off as, oh well, we'll try next time kind of thing. Like they didn't care at all. And then with the cloning and everything, they're basically just sending them to die. Um, Stuff like that. Like it's very interesting concept. Like the whole premise of this little arc or whatever, the cloning arc or whatever. I do wish that at least one clone was able to hang out with the group or whatever, and learn what it's like to be human from Misaka. Because like I'm not sure how long their lifespan is compared to like whatever, because we only seen one of the clones last the entire day, but I'm wondering like what lifespan do they have outside of combat? Like, are they predestined to like dissolve or whatever at a certain time? Can they live for a couple of years? Can they live a whole lifetime kind of thing? That's the kind of stuff that I'm kind of thinking of in my head, like because like if they do have a shelf life, right? If they do have like you only live for like a week, whatever, because they sped the growth up of the development. And I guess it was like maybe it was a couple of months or whatever in the development stage. So maybe their lifespans are, not like weeks or days or whatever like that, but maybe a couple of months beyond when they get out of the cell or whatever. Because like I said, if there is that shelf life there, if they do have a shelf life, then I mean they're gonna die anyways. Might as well use their bodies for some kind of good, I guess. But it's still very, very strange, like how they're just sending them to die to somebody who is not even trying. Like if they're good at fighting, if the Misaka sisters are, if they're like really good, like assassin level good, like they can literally kill like something if they wanted to, going up against that guy, accelerator. Then it'll give him a challenge, right? Every time he'll get something new out of it, kind of thing, or multiple something news. But it just seems like the Misakas always just find one thing to change up every time, whereas this one that we saw currently brought him to the train yard or whatever, and had like a little detonator underground that lured him above and then detonated it, kind of thing. And then that threw him off guard. He's like, huh, kind of thing, before it exploded. But it did nothing to him. He has a bubble thing around him, so it doesn't really do anything. And even Misaka herself, the original, the clone, not the clone, the original, she even threw a railgun blast at him, knocking it back. Luckily, not direct back, but just off to the side a little bit. And then a full lightning blast. And then something we never seen before, where she was like utterly like charged up like every essence of her to like shoot out around her, and it like made like all these rail ties all of a sudden just like pop off and everything, and then the whole rails came up, and then like all made like a big tower, and then like slammed down to him or whatever. I was thinking that a good way to get to him or whatever would be to like cage him, right? Just like just all around him like a big circle, and just cage him there. But I'm sure his ability can get out of it very easily. So I'm still trying to like wrap my head around his ability. And I'm sure maybe you guys in the comments below or whatever can let me know like the basis of his power, because like for Misaka, for instance, hers is like electricity. Like she can create electricity. That's like the baseline of what she can do. And then she uses that power, that gift, electricity, to do multiple things. You know, like the magnetism in the sand or whatever to make the little dust thing that she attacked him with as well. He shrugged it off, whatever. Um, levitating things, being able to levitate herself, climb onto walls, lightning strikes. I mean, just like you name it, she could do it with just the ability of creating lightning. So I'm wondering what his base thing is. And if it is a spoiler, what his thing does, then obviously don't say anything. I want the anime to tell me. If the anime does tell me like straight up like this is what it does, like he explains it to her, or whatever, me to begin, and he explains it, then don't spoil and leave that for the actual anime. But if it's not said in the anime, and it's kind of just generalized, just like what we've seen so far is what like the show showed us, and that kind of stuff, then I guess feel free to talk about it or whatever. But just make sure it's not a spoiler. Make sure that the anime doesn't tell us about it. Like I said, if the anime does tell us about it, then don't spoil. It's kind of like a slippery road, and I know me saying comment something, but then don't comment something if it's a spoiler. I know it's a slippery road because it could be kind of one way or another. But please don't spoil. Don't. I want the anime to tell us, but if the anime doesn't, let me know down below. Anyways, the musical clones are pretty silly. We had a day with one at least. Her eating ice cream and fighting with her and everything. It's really funny when the ice cream guy pulled up and he's like, "Oh, no fight with sisters," kind of thing. It's like we're not sisters. And that was very interesting. Uh, and the whole gift thing too, like she giving her the button, as like one of the first gifts, like, "Oh, treasure this," kind of thing. But like in her mannerism, whatever. She's like, "I would treasure this." One of the first gifts given by sister, or whatever, or big sis. So I'm wondering if like because Misaka interacted with one of them, I wonder if that means the next iteration of the Misaka will have the knowledge that she had. Because that was the whole thing about all the Misaka like network kind of thing, was every time one did something, the next one down the line remembers that and knows what to do with it, kind of thing. So will the next Misakas know that they had an outing with Misaka, with the ate ice cream and got a gift and that kind of thing? Like I'm wondering if the next ones will know that beyond just like what the program has told them, or whatever. So that's something interesting in my mind that I'm trying to think of as well. But I like the idea that Misaka is going after them alone, but at the same time, I think she needs help, and I do think letting the squad know about it is a good thing. I do feel like if they had Kuroko and Uehara and everything, like helping them out, and even Satin, helping her with this, finding the stations, taking them down, kind of thing, then that will be very, very interesting and helpful in her sense. Because if she does it alone, I feel like they'll start turning the clones on her in a way, and then forcing her to kill them, kind of thing. The one thing she doesn't want to do. I can also see Accelerator coming after Railgun, because she's trying to stop his progression, kind of thing. Like she's trying to stop the clones, which in turn will stop his level up, kind of thing. Like he's trying to level up to exceed like invincibility and all kind of stuff. But if he figures out that she's trying to stop the program, then it harms his progression. So I definitely think he's going to come into play trying to stop her or whatever. I think for him in particular, it will need assistance to fight him or whatever. Obviously not kill him. They don't really kill anybody in the show technically. Maybe here and there, a couple bodies here and there, but ultimately, whenever Railgun attacks somebody, they're just kind of knocked out or whatever with lightning. So Yeah, I'm really interested to see what happens next. It's gonna be super freaking cool to see what happens with the Misaka sisters and Misaka herself. Like if she ever kind of sees them or every once in a while and talks to them or tries to convince them to do something with her, whatever. Like it's gonna be super freaking interesting to see that. Also, if the other girls, the squad, finds a clone on their own kind of thing, like what would they think or what would they say kind of thing. I mean, we already had freaking Kuroko thinking the original was a clone because she's all acting weird. But as we know, all the clones pretty much talk the same way in that kind of third person, kind of voice, monotone voice. So, because at first I was thinking it was a red herring kind of thing, like the show's showing us like, ooh, it could be a clone, whatever, but like it's obviously not a clone. It's just her being silly or whatever. But it would be interesting to see what Kuroko would do if she figured out there was clones out there, and that Mikasa was actually trying to stop like the other clones kind of thing. Like I feel like when she starts going through and destroying all the facilities herself kind of thing, I could definitely see it becoming like a big like news thing, whatever, like Kuroko and all of them figuring out like she's doing this, or figuring out there's somebody out there destroying facilities, trying to hunt her down, realizing that like the facilities are bad kind of thing, but like it's in the news, it's like this facility was destroyed. Well, we're gonna find out who did this kind of thing. But like Kuroko ends up realizing that it's Mikasa like doing it because of some reason. I could definitely see that happening. I could definitely see the news and the organization twisting it to make it seem like she's going crazy or whatever. Like she's doing this for one reason or another. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to find out, though. So, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next week for some more A Certain Scientific Railgun. Take care, buddy.